Now we are going to start new Madinah book 3 in this class, and also this is your class number 1. Every book that we are going to take from the Madinah book series, it is going to be starting with the class number 1, because this will make a whole set of sequence of class numbers for future reference, which will be easy for you all. So each book will start with the class number 1, lesson number 1. And so now let's begin the book 3. Are you all excited? Alhamdulillah. Yes, with every book there's a new excitement, right? Yes, and also from this book, as I told you, you'll have a new journey. It's a very special journey that will open up new doors of understanding the Quran. So each lesson that you take on from now onwards, you'll have something, some new concepts which will in turn help you to understand Quran in a better way. So let's begin the topic for today in Ad-Darsul Awwal, lesson 1. In this lesson, we are going to see the first topic that we are going to see about inna. Okay, so it is here, like it is inni is given here. So basically it is inna plus the ya attached here. So we are going to learn more about inna, which comes very often in the Quran. Okay, so let's begin. It's a very interesting topic and I'm very excited to teach you all. And I hope you all are excited too to learn the new topic. Let's see what it is. So here we have, it is called Al-Huruf al-Mushabbahatu bil-Fi'l. Okay, this is the name of the topic. And the scholars, they make everything easy for us. They give terms which become easy for us. So they have given a small tip for us to remember this topic as inna wa akhawatuha. What is the meaning of this? Inna and its sisters. Akhawatu is a plural of ukhtun, right? So inna wa akhawatuha, inna and its sisters. Okay, there's no grammatical terminology like this. It is just a tip for us to remember. So the name of this inna wa akhawatuha in grammatical terminology is al-hurufu mushabbahatu bil-fi'l. Why they are called like this, we will see in a bit. So the inna and akhawatuha, first of all, you can see they are particles, al-huruf, isn't it? That's why they are given as huruf. So what is the English translation for this? Particles resembling a verb. Huruf, particles, okay, resembling a verb. So in Arabic language, there are 6 particles called al-huruf al-mushabbaha bil-fi'l. Okay, and what are those 6? They are inna wa akhawatuha. Okay, inna wa akhawatuha. What are these 6 sisters? Inna, anna, lakinna, ka'anna, laita, and la'alla. Okay, so these are the inna and its sisters. Together they are 6. Okay, so they are called inna wa akhawatuha as a tip to remember. So inna plus you have 5 sisters. Okay, so including inna, how many? Including inna there are 6. Okay, don't think inna excluding inna there are 6. Inna plus its sisters are how many? Together they are 6. Okay, all right. Next, what do we see here? Why are they called huruful mushabbahatu bil fi'l? Huruf means particles, Mushabbaha means shabbaha yushabbihu. You have learned this word before. You say similar, resembling, shibu. Yes. So shibu or mushabbaha means to resemble. Okay. So inna wa akhawatuha, they are called the particles which resemble the fi'l. Is it so? Why is it called, particles are different, fi'l is different? How come they are, they resemble the same? Okay, let's solve this mystery. Okay, so why are they called like this? Because these particles, okay, number one, there are few points which you have to understand why they are called so, why they are called that they act like verbs. Point number one is that what does a fi'l look like before conjugating? It is in the form of 3 letter or 4 letters, right? Verb is in the form of 3 letter or 4 letter. So these particles are also, if you see inna, how many letters does it have? You write inna, but it is actually the shadda. If you open up the shadda, if you take inna, okay, and if you open this up, noon shadda means what? when a when a letter has shadda on it, it means it has been doubled. That is, it has been doubled, and the first letter has a sukun and the second letter has a fatha. So aren't these three letters, isn't it? So inna, basically it is three letters. Yes. And lakinna, how many words? If you split them up, lakinna, how many? La, okay, lam, kaf, then two noons, isn't it? Because it has shadda, so four letters. Similarly, ka'anna also four letters. Laita, three letters. La'alla again, four letters. Lam, ain, and two lams, right? Which has a shadda. The last lam has a shadda. So if you see, inna is three lettered, anna is three lettered, lakinna four lettered, ka'anna four, laita three, la'alla four. So these particles, they are similar in verb in what terms? In terms of the number of letters in them. A verb is also 3 or 4 lettered, and particles, and these, especially we are talking about these huruf mushabbah bil fi'l, these particles, these 6, okay, they also resemble a verb. Why? Because they are 3 or 4 lettered, okay. And then the second point, why are they called very similar to fail, is that the verb, what does it do? The verbs are amil, right? Amil means what? When they come, they have an impact on other words, right? So amil are those words which, when they come, they have an impact on other words. So fail is an amil or not? It is an amil, isn't it? What does it do? When the fail comes, the file, the doer gets a rafa state, and the object gets a nasab state, isn't it? So it is doing some action on the other nouns. There were two nouns. When a verb came, one noun took rafa state because it became the doer, and the other one took a nasab because it became the object. So similarly, these particles, what they do is, we will look into detail how they are amil. These particles are also amil. These 6, they are also amil. What do? They give nasab to their ism and rafa to their khabar. Okay, this we are very quickly passing on this part. This is what we are going to see elaborately, and we are going to discuss more in detail later on. Okay, so just for a quick reference, we are just trying to understand here what are we trying to understand here. Why are these particles called particles that resemble fail? Okay, and what is the third reason? Why are they called particles which resemble fail? Because meaning wise, these particles have the meaning of action. These particles have the meaning of action. For example, if I say inna, you would have seen in the Quran, like, indeed it would have written, but actually it is of the meaning of I am emphasizing. Okay, when we say I am emphasizing, it means it's like a verb, no? There's a doer, I am emphasizing. Yes. So that's how it is resembling like a verb. So what are the 3 points? If anybody is asking you, why are these, the inna and its sisters, why they are called huruf mushabbah bil fail? Huruf mushabbah bil fail means what? Particles resembling the verb. Why we call these particles resembling the verb? Because number one reason would be they are similar to the verbs in terms of their letters. They could be 3 or 4 like the verbs. And number two, these particles are amil like the verbs. Okay, they give one noun nasab and another noun rafa. Okay, how and what happens, we will see later. Third point, why they are called particles which resemble fail, are that their meaning, okay, their meaning has the meaning of action. They have a meaning of action in them. Okay, so verbs also show the action, and these particles also have a sense of action in them. So meaning wise, they resemble the same. So that is one topic that you have to know, why they are called particles resembling a verb, huruf mushabbahatu bil fi'l. And then the next thing what you have to understand is, inna and its sisters, each one of these particles has a different meaning. Okay, but all of them work like inna in changing the i'rab. So they are sisters of inna. Okay. So what they are saying here is there are 6 sisters. Okay. Like in real life, you can say, like there are 6 sisters. Okay. So the elder sister is inna. Let's say the elder sister is inna. Okay. All the other sisters, okay, like inna went to, like for example, this sister went to some school, like, uh, like the school's name is Aisha. Okay. The school name is Aisha. So she went to the school Aisha. So all the sisters, other sisters, their family referred them to go to the same school. Correct. So the way inna went, so others are also following the same way. Okay. So grammatically, what inna does, what in terms of Arabic terminology, if you have to understand, whatever inna does, the same work its sisters also will do. Okay. Whatever grammatically, whatever is the function of inna, whatever it is doing, okay, what it is doing we will see in detail, but whatever inna is doing, the same thing will be done by its sisters. Okay. The same action will be done by its sisters, but each one's meaning will be different. Each sister will have a different meaning. Yes. Now, for example, in the real-time example, all the sisters went to the same school, but each sister had a different personality, isn't it? And had a different name and had a different personality, right? Similarly, all the sisters of inna will function like inna. Okay, will function like inna, but each one have their own identity, like they have their own meaning. Okay. So that is what they have explained here. Next, if you see in your notes, there are a few points that you have to understand about these huruf mushabbaha bil fi'l. The rules of huruf mushabbaha bil fi'l. What are they? All of them occur before a jumla ismiya. Okay. Now let me, before going to these rules, I want to make you understand what this inna and its sisters do. Okay. So we said all the sisters of inna function the same way. Whatever inna functions, in the way inna functions, the same way its sisters will function. Okay. So, but the question is, what does inna do? Okay. So let's see, what does inna do? So I'm going to give you an example. So it is, the weather is hot. How do we say this in Arabic? Al-Jawu, okay? Al-Jawu harun. Okay? The weather is hot. This is a normal jumla ismiya, wherein, what is this? Al-Jawu is mubtada, and it is in rafa state. Okay? Harun is khabar. Okay? And it is also in rafa state, right? Now what will happen? Suppose I have to bring emphasis in this sentence. Okay? What will I do? I will bring inna. Okay, and inna and its sisters, that is these mushabba, huruful mushabba bil fail, they enter only upon jumla ismiya. They don't enter upon jumla failure. Okay, they only enter upon jumla ismiya. So here you have a jumla ismiya. So you can bring inna here, right? When I bring inna, what is happening? First of all, the meaning wise, it is, what is the meaning of inna? Indeed. Okay, indeed. Just for the meaning wise, right now you can say it is indeed, as you can see the translation in different books, but also in the Quran you would have seen it is indeed, but we will learn more about it, about the meaning. Okay, right now just we'll keep it simple, indeed. And now what happens when inna is entering? It is an amil, we said, right? Remember we said it is an amil. It does some function, it works on some words, and it has an impact on other words, right? And what is that impact? When inna comes on a jumla ismiya, okay, when inna comes on a jumla ismiya, the mubtada, okay, the mubtada will get a nasab state. What will it get? It will get a nasab state, which means what? It will have a fatha on it. Okay, because of inna, the mubtada will go to nasab state. Okay, and the khabar will be in rafa state. Okay, so here, so what did after the mubtada gets a fatha, the nasab state, its name also will be changed. Okay, when inna entered, what is the first thing that will happen? the mubtada, the word that is mubtada, that will get a nasab state. And after getting nasab state, inna says, now I own this sentence. So the name also will change. We will not call this word jawu as mubtada. Okay, now we will call it ismu inna. What will we call it? Ismu inna. Okay, and the khabar, what will we call it? Khabru inna. Okay, it will be called khabru inna. Okay, so what are the things that you have to remember? Inna enters upon only jumla ismiya. Inna and its sisters all enter. First, we will look how inna functions, and you can think about other sisters that they function the same way. Okay, if we say inna enters upon jumla ismiya, it means all the sisters enter upon jumla ismiya. Okay, if we say inna gives nasab to the mubtada and rafa to the khabar, then all the sisters function the same way. Okay, so we'll keep it simple. We'll see for inna first and then the other sisters. So what did we learn about inna? First point, here it is in the rules, that all of them, that is inna and its sisters, all of them, they come in the beginning of jumla ismiya. Okay, and they make their ism mansoob and the khabar marfu. Okay, that's what we have learned here, that the mubtada which is there, actually this was jumla ismiya, right, with the mubtada and khabar. Now when inna entered, what happened? The mubtada is changed to ismu inna, which means ismu inna gets a nasab, right? Inna gives nasab to the mubtada and it becomes ismu inna. Then what happens to the khabar? Khabar gets a rafa and becomes the khabru inna. Okay, now the second point in the rules is mubtada of jumla ismiya becomes their ism and khabar becomes the khabar of inna. Okay, so that's what is given here. We just now saw that al-jawu is what? Ismu inna, and harun is khabru inna. The sentence that starts with the inna is also called jumla ismiya. Okay, this is very important. Some students get confused. Okay, so when this sentence was just al-jawu harun, okay, al-jawu harun, it was jumla ismiya, right? Now when the particle entered, do we say jumla harfiya? Is there any jumla harfiya? No, we only have two types of sentences, right? Jumla ismiya and jumla fe'liya. Okay, so what did we learn? If there are particles in the front, we will leave the particles and we will see what is the next word. What is the next word in the sentence after the particle inna? Al-jawu, which is an ism. So this will be a jumla ismiya. Still, after the inna and its sisters, if any one of them enter, even then this will remain jumla ismiya. Okay, next point, if you see, both the ism zahir and ism zamir muttasil can come as their ism. What is the meaning of ism zahir? The noun which is clearly visible. For example, in this case, what is the ism of inna? It is ism zahir. You can see the ism. Okay, if you want to change this into a pronoun, for example, if I have to say indeed it is hot, it, what am I referring to? In the place of weather, I want to say it is hot. Okay, in the place of jawu, I will say it. Okay, so how will I say that? Inna. How will I say indeed it is hot? Which pronoun will I bring? If I have to bring a pronoun in the place of al-jawu, which pronoun will I bring? Because after inna, whichever pronoun comes, that will be the ismu inna, right? That is going to be ismu inna, which is ismu inna will be in nasab state. So which pronoun will I use for nasab state? Damir munfasil or damir muttasil? The i'rab of all the damir munfasil are what? They are all in rafa state. Which is the pronoun in nasab state? The damir muttasil, right? The attached pronouns, hu, huma, hum. The damir muttasil, all, they can come either for nasab state or jar state. Okay, so here we require a pronoun which is in jar state, nasab state, because ismu inna is nasab. Okay, so which pronoun will we bring? Inna hu. We'll attach this, isn't it? Because it is attached pronoun. Inna hu. What is this hu referring to? Al-jawu. Okay, indeed it is. Harun will be the same, isn't it? Okay, because this will still remain in rafa state. So here you will say inna is حرف مشبه بالفعل, and who is what? اسم إن, and Harun is what? خبر إن. Okay, so that's what they're saying here. Both the ism zahir and ism damir muttasil can come as its ism. The Quran has many of these particles with attached pronouns. Next, sometimes they have a khabar muqaddam and ism muakhar. Remember, it's the normal jumla ismiya, right? The inna and its sisters, they enter upon jumla ismiya. And in jumla ismiya, it could be a normal jumla ismiya where you have a mubtada and khabar, and then you can have, or you can have the khabar muqaddam and, mubtada muakhar. So when the mubtada is muakhar, what will happen? The mubtada muakhar will get a nasab state when inna enters, and it will be called ismu inna muakhar. Okay, and this will become khabru inna muqaddam. That's it. Okay, so that's what they have given here. Next, the khabar of the particles can be mufrad or a jumla ismiya. Okay, so the khabar, in this case, the khabar of inna is what? One word khabar, isn't it? One word khabar. Normally in a jumla ismiya, what are the different types of khabar? Here I have brought a one word khabar. There are three types of khabar that can come, isn't it? One is one word khabar, or jumla ismiya khabar. Whole jumla ismiya can become a khabar, or whole jumla fi'liya can become a khabar. So if whatever is the khabar, when inna enters, whether it is one word khabar or jumla ismiya khabar or jumla fi'liya khabar, after inna enters, it will become the khabar of inna. That's it. That's what they're saying here, that the khabar of these particles can be mufrad, jumla ismiya or jumla fi'liya. And the next point is, all the particles have different meanings. As we said, the inna, anna, lakinna, laita, la'alla, all these individually, they have different roles. I mean, they have different names, okay? They have different meanings, but they function the same way. The way inna functions, what is the function of inna? It enters upon jumla ismiya and gives nasab to mubtada, and we call this ismu inna, and we call this ismu inna. Okay, and the khabar will be khabru inna. Okay, so that's it. Next question is, there's a small question that you need to ponder. Let's see if you have the answer for this. The khabar of a nominal sentence, that is, we are talking about jumla ismiya, okay? The khabar in a jumla ismiya is marfu, okay? And the khabar of inna is also marfu, okay? Then what is the difference? Let's take a new example and work it out so that you have some examples handy. So let's take Muhammad, okay? Muhammad is sick. Okay, Muhammad is sick, maridun. Okay, is this a complete jumla? Muhammad is sick? Yes. So this is the mubtada, Muhammad, and maridun is the one word khabar. Okay. Now suppose if I bring inna, what will happen? Okay, before I bring inna, let me ask you something. This mubtada is in which state? Rafa state. Okay, why is it in Rafa state? What is the reason for it to be in Rafa state? Tell me, what is the reason for it to be in Rafa state? Because it is mubtada. Mubtada is always in Rafa state, okay? Because it is the subject is always in Rafa state. That will be your reason. And the khabar, what is the i'rab of a khabar? It is in Rafa state. Why is it in Rafa state? What is the reason? Why is it in Rafa state? Yes, khabar is always marifa, but there is another reason. That is, this is the khabar of mubtada. Okay, when you have a mubtada, you should have a khabar, right? So this is the khabar of mubtada. Okay, because this is the khabar of this mubtada, it is in rafa state. Okay, what will you say? Why is this in rafa state? Because this is the khabar of this mubtada. Because the khabar will come only when you have a mubtada, you will need a khabar, right? So this khabar is in rafa state because it is the khabar of this mubtada. That's why it is in rafa state. That is the reason for it to be in rafa state. You will say like that. And now if I bring inna, what will happen? Now when I brought inna, okay, what will happen to the sentence? Let us rewrite the sentence, okay? So if I bring inna on this, it will become inna Muhammad. Mubtada will become ismu inna and it will get a nasab state. So inna Muhammadan, this will be maridun, and this will be called ismu inna, and this will be called khabru inna. Okay. Now if you see here, this is in nasab state. What is the reason this ismu inna is in nasab state? Because of inna, isn't it? Inna came and that's why this went to nasab state. That is the reason. Because of inna, this is in nasab state. Okay. And now why is this khabar in rafa state? Why is this khabar in rafa state? Again, you will say this is because of inna. You will not say that this is the khabar of this, ism. You will say because of inna. Okay. How does inna function? You will say inna gives nasab to the mubtada and it gives rafa to the khabar. It is, you may ask, this is also rafa, this is also rafa. That's what I'm trying to explain, that in a normal jumla ismiya where you don't have inna, you will say this is in rafa state because this is the khabar of this mubtada. Okay. But here this khabar is in rafa state. Why is this in rafa state? Because of inna. Just the reason for it to be in rafa state has changed. Here, the reason for it to be in rafa state is that it is the khabar of this mubtada. Here, this khabar is in rafa state. Why? What is the reason? It is because of inna. Okay, you will say it is in rafa state because of inna. Okay, that's it. That is what has been explained here. So the answer why both are in rafa state, but what is the difference? Why do you call it khabru inna? Because khabar is marfu as a khabar of mubtada. This is the first reason. Why is this khabar marfu? Because it is a khabar of mubtada. Okay, in the first case, this is the reason for it to be rafa. When inna is there, then the khabar is marfu because of inna. Do you understand now? Now this khabar is marfu because of, what is the reason it is marfu? Because of inna. It means the reason of khabar being marfu has changed. Can you see? The reason has changed. That's it. For this khabar to be in rafa state, the reason was different. And for this khabar to be in rafa state, the reason is different. And we will learn about inna and la'alla in the next lesson. Okay, so this we will learn in next lesson. Let's see the rules of the particle inna here. How does it function? So inna, the particle of inna. Now I said that remember each particle according to its the way it comes in the sentence, the meaning, it will have a different meaning. Okay, all the sisters function the same way, but each one has a different identity. Okay, so you can say their identities means you can know them by their different meanings. So inna, what is the meaning of inna? That is, it is a particle which gives the meaning wise, it gives emphasis, tawqeed. What is the emphasis called in Arabic? Tawqeed. So you call this inna as harfu tawqeed, one nasab. One nasab, why do you say one nasab? Because when inna comes, meaning wise, it gives emphasis, and grammatically it gives nasab to the noun following it, isn't it? The noun that comes after inna will be in nasab state. Remember? So it's like saying harfu nasab. Okay, it's like saying inna is harfu tawqeed and it is harfu nasab. Remember, for jar, what did you do? Whenever, if you say fil baiti, okay, fil baiti, this is ism majroor, okay, and this is in jar state because of this harf jar. You said this is fi is what? Harf jar, right? Similarly, you can say inna is what? Harfu nasab, okay, but meaning wise, what is the meaning? That also you have to say harfu tawqeed, it is a particle which brings tawqeed, and it is a particle which gives nasab to the noun following it, the noun after it. Okay. So let's see, what does inna do? Inna emphasizes and gives nasab. And the meaning of inna, it in simple terms, like when the translation has to be done, they just say it indeed. But each language has its own, fascinating points, subhanallah, that cannot be translated into words. You cannot always translate every language into, in any other language. Like, for example, if you take the poems in English, if you translate them into any language like Urdu, Arabic, or anything, you cannot justify what the author or the poet has written in their language, isn't it? You cannot find the most appropriate and equivalent terms that you can translate them into, especially when it is when the purpose of, if it's a poem or a prose, whatever it is, the expressions, the words, the choice of words, it makes a big impact on the understanding, okay, the way the listener understands it. It becomes totally different by the choice of words. Okay, so like that, inna, just for the sake of translation, they are saying indeed, but there is no equivalent word to understand inna. It is something to be felt. Okay, it is something to be like you're emphasizing a lot in it. It is not just, okay, indeed. It's not like that. It means I'm emphasizing that I'm very sure, I'm very certain about what I'm saying. All these come under inna. So you cannot express, you cannot just say indeed, and you can't say you've translated it. No, you cannot justify the real meaning of inna. There's so much emphasis in it. Okay, so so for translation purpose, they have written indeed, but there's no actual translation for inna. That's what I can say. It is something to be felt. Okay, the certainty, when you add inna, it brings so much certainty, like it's as though you're saying, I'm emphasizing this point, I'm saying this for sure, I'm very certain about it, there's no doubt in it. Whatever I'm going to say, I'm certain about it, I'm very sure, there is no doubt in it what I'm going to say now. So all these things are incorporated in the meaning of inna. When you have to, just by seeing inna, you should be sure that what is coming after inna is, it's 100, the person is very serious about this, that about what he's going to say. He's emphasizing the point. Okay, so that's how it is. So here, that's what is given. Inna is a harfu tawqeed, which means indeed or surely is translated, because what is said after inna has the certainty and is free from any doubt. This certainty can only be felt and indescribable in words. Okay, generally inna is translated as certainly or indeed. Okay, so if you see the example here in the Quran, inna Allaha ghafurun, so they would have given indeed Allah is most forgiving. Okay, so here if you see, how will you do the translation? So here I'm emphasizing that certainly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most merciful, correct? So you just need to feel, there's no proper translation. For the sake of translation, you're translating as indeed, but there's really no translation for it. You just need to understand the intensity of emphasis here. Okay. Okay, let's come and do the grammatical analysis of this. Okay, inna, what is the name of inna? What will you call it? Harfu individually you will call it harfu tawqeed wa nasbin. Okay, but it also has the other name. What is the actual name of inna? Of all the sisters together, of all the sisters, huruf mushabbahatu bil fail. You can call it as also harf mushabbaha bil fail. You can call it that also, isn't it? That's the actual name. But according to the meaning and what function it does, you're giving here the appropriate name. Okay, just inna you have brought here, isn't it? You have not brought all the sisters, so you will say it is this particular word inna, which is also harf mushabba bil fail. Here it is coming in the meaning of emphasis, so you will say harfu tawqeed wa nasbin, and it gives nasab to the noun following it. Okay, so Allah, why is it in nasab state? Because this is ismu inna. Remember, actually it was what? A jumla ismiya. With, and how it was? Allahu ghafurun. But when inna entered, what happened? It took this mubtada to nasab state, from rafa to nasab state, and it made the mubtada change its name also. Okay, it says now I am owning this sentence. Change your name. Okay, so so inna said change your name, and mubtada became ismu inna. Okay, so ismu inna is mansoob. Ghafurun, it is khabru inna marfu. And if I ask you what's the reason for this khabru inna to be in rafa state, what is the reason? Because it is the khabar of inna. That's why it is in rafa state. Okay. And if I ask you why is this in nasab state? Again, because of inna. Okay. So for both the things, this is in nasab state because of inna, and this is in rafa state because of inna. Okay. That's the answer. Next, if you see the next sentence, innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. So if you see here, inna is what? Harfu tawkid wa nasbin. Again, the same thing. It's a particle of emphasis and gives nasab to the noun after it. That's why it's called nasbin. Who is what? Damir muttasil. Isn't it? It is damir muttasil. Why damir muttasil is brought here, not munfasil? Because damir muttasil is what comes for nasab or jar state. So here we need a pronoun which should be in nasab state. So obviously we have brought, that's why we have brought damir muttasil. So who, what will you say about who? Damir muttasil is the ismu inna. Okay. And remember in damir, you will say they are mabni, right? All the damair are mabni. So you will say fi mahalli nasbin. Can you see the nasab state here with the fatha? No, isn't it? So you will say it is fixed. Who, this pronoun is, its form, its shape is fixed. It will always look like who. Okay. But here it is fi mahalli means fi in, mahal means place. Here this who is in the place of nasab. So I know that this is in nasab state. How do I know? Because it is in the place of nasab. Because of inna, it has gone to nasab state. Next, where is the khabar of this who? Huwal ghafurur rahim. So huwa is mubtada. Again, another sentence. He is most merciful and most forgiving and most merciful. Yeah. So huwa is mubtada. Al-ghafuru is the first khabar and ar-rahim is the second khabar. Okay. So together with the mubtada and two khabars, it is one jumla ismiya. And this jumla ismiya, whole jumla ismiya, is the khabru inna. And what is the i'rab of this khabru inna? Khabru inna, we said it is in rafa state, right? So we will say fi mahalli rafin. Can you see, if you're saying this whole thing is the khabar of inna, can you put a i'rab to this? You cannot put, right? On whole sentence. So you'll just say for a whole sentence, you will say fi mahalli rafin or fi mahalli nasbin, whatever it is. So here in this case, this is fi mahalli rafin because this is the khabru inna. And we know that khabru inna is in rafa state because of inna. Okay. The main difference that these two examples have been chosen here for you all is that here you have the ismu inna as what? Ism zahir. And here if you see, the ismu inna is a domir. Okay. So with that, we completed the lesson on inna. So with that, we have completed learning about the lesson on inna. Now, what we are going to do is you have a small homework to do, which is your exercise number 6. Okay. And it's mainly because you have learned the rule. Unless you apply it with some examples, you will not get a proper clarity. Okay. So that's why you need to do this exercise, which will make you understand what is the rule of inna. Keeping the rule that of inna, what you have to do here, rewrite the following sentences using inna and vowelize the last letters of the words. Okay. So this exercise is your homework. Let's do just one example. For example, if I say ad-darsu sa'bun, okay, the lesson is difficult. No, the lesson is easy, right? Okay, so let's do this. Might be for them the lesson is difficult, for you it's easy, right? So this is one jumla ismiya. So ad-dars is mubtada, sa'bun is khabar, one word khabar. Now I'm going to enter inna on it. What will happen because of inna? When inna enters, it says I own the sentence. Now it has its own rules. It will make the mubtada go to nasab state and it will change its name as ismu inna. Okay. And this sa'bun will become khabru inna. Okay. And it is in rafa state. What is the reason for the khabar to be in rafa state? inna. Because of inna, it is in rafa state. That's it. So the whole exercise, you're going to do the same way. You have to enter inna on each sentence and make the changes that are required, and write the names of, do the analysis also, grammatical analysis, like for example, which is ismu inna, which is khabru inna. Okay, just write under it, inshallah. So it's easy for you all. With that, we come to the end of today's class. Until we meet next week, stay safe. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.